I don't know about you, but for me, July absolutely flew by, and I feel like I did not read as much as I thought I was going to. Normally, I really read a lot during the summer months. I love to sit outside or go to the beach and read. And then also, if it's one of those like thunderstormy or rainy kind of days, I love to cozy up in my office with a tea or a coffee, sometimes an iced coffee, and just spend hours reading. But for some reason, I just didn't have that pull this July, which was kind of strange for me. I did still end up reading 3 books, which is nothing to cry about. That is actually a pretty decent number. And they were all also very good books. So that's what counts, I guess. To start off the month of July, I read I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Anne Liang. I actually started this one in June when I was doing a 24-hour readathon, but I chose to stop reading it and stop my 24-hour readathon altogether because I just found myself not even reading the pages, and this book deserved a fair chance. And I'm so glad I gave it that. I'm so happy looking back now that I just decided to end the readathon when I did, because if I hadn't, I probably would not have enjoyed this book as much as I ended up enjoying it. It was 5 stars, and that is very high praise coming from me because I don't normally like YA, and this is a YA romance, so I was a little bit skeptical going into it that I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, but it was so good. If you liked All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han, the book or the movies, honestly, I highly recommend trying this one out. It's kind of in the same vein, except instead of love letters, the main character accidentally has her hate emails sent out to all of the people that they were addressed to in her drafts, and she kind of has to deal with the consequences of that. Same with how in To All the Boys I've Loved Before, her love letters got mailed to all of her crushes. Just like To All the Boys, this one was very cute and kind of a high school rival to Lovers. It actually had me kicking my feet quite a bit, which is crazy because, like I said, YA doesn't normally do that for me, but this one was just so freaking cute. Then I was sent the arc Hate Me, Take Me by Laura Bishop. This is the second book in the Love Me, Stalk Me series. Does it actually have a name? I'm not sure if this series has a name. I just tried to look and I don't see one, but there could be one. Anyway, this takes place in the same world as Love Me, Stalk Me, and it actually follows 2 characters, or at least one character that was mentioned in Love Me, Stalk Me. And once again, it is a dark, spicy stalker romance. This one, though, is definitely for the bike talk girlies, and if you know, you know. If you don't know what bike talk is, it is basically TikToks that follow bikers, and yeah, this one, if you're into that, would be definitely up your alley for sure. I don't want to spoil too much, but it has scenes where he keeps his helmet on to kind of hide his identity, and I know that a lot of people would be really into that. So if that sounds like something that could interest you, highly recommend this one. Also, you do not have to read the first one to read the second one. It would definitely make some of the characters more meaningful, but it's not necessary for the plot or to understand what's going on at all. It's not really a continuation of the first one. It's more somebody else's separate story. But anyway, it was really good. Kind of cringy at times, and I do think I preferred the first one, so this one I ended up reading 4 stars, and I would definitely read it again. I think there's also going to be a 3rd book, which I cannot wait for because I have quickly found out that Laura Bishop is my kind of author. She has an amazing writing style. It really keeps you engrossed the whole time, and then also she just writes spice and swoony, yearning romance like no other. There were a few things though, like I said, kind of cringy, so you've been warned. If cringe is not your thing, this one might not be for you. And then I finished off the month with The Goodbye Cat by Hiro Arikawa. This book made me cry, I think twice, and all within the first 2 short stories. So it is 7 short stories that follow different cats. Some of the cats also were in Hiro Arikawa's book, The Traveling Cat Chronicles. So if you like that one, highly recommend. And if you haven't read that one, you probably should, because it is some of the best cat literature I have ever read in my entire life. But anyway, this one is as sad as it sounds, particularly the first couple of stories in it. They hit me right in the feels. I think I cried before I was even 50 pages in, so you're warned. If you've ever loved a pet and lost a pet, or even if you haven't lost a pet and you just love your pet and are dreading the day that that may happen, this book will shatter your soul in the most beautiful way possible. But it still will. I knew that that was going to happen going into it, but I don't normally cry during books. I know that kind of makes me sound like a monster, but it's just, I don't know, something that doesn't normally happen with me, but this one definitely did it. Anything to do with animals honestly kind of does it. Anyway, all that being said, this was definitely 5 stars. The author did an outstanding job at making this entire reading experience a beautifully miserable time. But that is all that I read in the month of July. Like I said, what we lacked in quantity, we made up for in quality, which is what counts for sure. I am really looking forward to August, particularly because I do have a couple of weeks off of school. So hopefully I will get to do do another readathon. I'm kind of hoping I'm gonna do a 24-hour one. I'm gonna have to see what kind of a mood I'm in before I start filming that, but it would be loads of fun to do one when I don't have school right on the horizon and it's a little ways away, but we'll have to see. It might end up being a 12-hour readathon if I'm not really into it. Nonetheless, I'm gonna have a lot more time to read, so hopefully I'm actually in the mood to read, and I will, because that would be great. But for now, I am gonna leave this one here. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and happy reading.